Hey everyone, happy Thursday. How are you on this lovely day? Andrea Owen here from Your Kick-Ass Life, bringing you a live video every Thursday on a different personal development topic. And today I want to know, what is the weather like where you are? Here, I'm in North Carolina, and this isn't what the whole video is going to be about. That would be awfully boring. This isn't the Weather Channel. But I know in some places it's really snowing. I have a friend that lives in Montana, and it is snowing already. And in other places in the Midwest, is it snowing? It's just getting cold over here in North Carolina. And I know in Southern California, where a lot of people I know are, it's blistering hot. So I'm just super curious. Type in the comments. Tell me how you are and tell me where you are from and what the weather is like using emojis. Because as you know, if you've watched my Thursday videos, you know how much I love emojis. You guys, there's new emojis. There's one that's a head explosion. Can someone type that in the comments so we can all see what it looks like? I just saw it last night. I was at the grocery store texting my husband, and I was like, there's a head explosion emoji? My life has changed now. So as always, I'm bringing you a chapter a week. Here we go, from this book, which is the first book I wrote in 2013, 52 Ways to Live a Kick-Ass Life. And this week I'm talking about how to be a legend in your own mind. Before I answer that, or I talk about that, where is the Post-it that I had the question on? Here it is. So we had a question from last week's video. I was talking about forgiveness. If you missed it, you can click on videos and go back and watch that. And Kara Lee had a really great question, and that is, can you forgive an action but still hate the person? So I'm curious if what you think of that. If you want to go ahead and type in the comments what you think. The question is, can you forgive an action but still hate the person? Kara Lee, I am very few times stumped on a question and not able to answer it fairly quickly. And I have been thinking about this all week, because my first reaction was, I don't think so. I don't think that you can. I think that either you do or you don't. And I think when we try to compartmentalize that, we're actually like, my first thought was, well, maybe she likes the idea of forgiving someone and she feels like it's something that she is supposed to do, because, you know, we talk about it so much over here in personal development and these self-help books. You need to forgive everybody. It's the key to your happiness and peace and ease. But maybe it's just too hard. So you say like, well, I forgive the action. I forgive what you did, but I still hate the person. So I actually reached out to one of my colleagues. If you guys don't know Elizabeth D'Alto, she's one of my people, and I've had her on the podcast a couple of times. And I said, hey, what do you think about this? And I've been really kind of mulling over it, and I think this, but I'm not exactly sure, and I'm curious what she thought. And she brought up something that I totally agree with, and I'm so glad I asked her. She said, I believe that we forgive in layers, and maybe for her, this is just the first layer. It's forgiving what they did, but not actually forgiving the person yet. So that's totally fine. And she and I both agreed on something really important in Kara Lee's question, and that is that she says that she still hates the person. So hate is, as we all know, a pretty strong word. And I think that when you hate someone, there's still a lot of anger there. And to me, that says that there's still some work to be done. Not saying that you didn't know that, Kara Lee, but I'm just probably reiterating something that you already knew. And that is processing that anger. And I think anger is one of those emotions that we really don't like to feel. Anger is also what we call a secondary emotion, and that means that there's something else underneath it. Typically, some kind of hurt. This person has hurt you, therefore you are angry. They have stepped on something that you believe in. They have done something to betray you, something around trust. Something happened, therefore you are angry, and it comes out as hate. So that's what I invite you to do, Kara Lee, is to start trying to process that anger, and hopefully that will lead to another layer of your forgiveness for this person. So hopefully that was helpful. If you all have any questions about what I talk about on these weekly videos, please pop them in the comments. We do go back and read, because I know a lot of you people are watching this on replay. Thank you very much for doing that. And you're not here live, and so I don't catch your questions. I'm happy to answer them on a future live video, and we will let you know when we are going to answer that. So as I talk about this topic about being a legend in your own mind, I am happy to answer any questions for you. So it's chapter 20, I don't have my glasses on. Chapter 28 is all about this topic of being a legend in your own mind. And here's something, okay, you guys, I am reading, I wrote this book 4 or 5 years ago, and it's interesting because like as I read through it, there's some things where I'm like, I would have written that differently today, and I would have said this additional piece. So it's really interesting to go back to my own work and see these things. And there is a piece of it that I'm going to tell you that I would like to add to what I wrote. So be a legend in your own mind. This is all about self-confidence. I mean, if you hadn't gathered that already, right? So I'm just going to read to you a couple of excerpts from this chapter. At the end of the day, it's all about what you believe. And more specifically, it's all about what you believe to be true about yourself. And the most important part is what you believe to be true about yourself. Well, if I would have just kept reading, I would have seen that. How do you treat yourself in thoughts and in action? As you all know, I love to talk about the inner critic. That was a video that I made several weeks ago. If you want to go back and look at that, I talk about the inner critic. I've also talked about it a lot on my podcast. That is the self-talk that we have. Many times that talk is not very nice, and that's what the inner critic is. It's that negative self-talk. Your negative self-talk is in direct correlation to your core beliefs about yourself. So if you have a lot of negative self-talk, then you probably have some negative core beliefs. And these core beliefs pretty much dictate that not only the things that we say, but how we behave, sometimes how we treat other people, the decisions that we make, the behaviors that we engage in, et cetera, et cetera. That's why I talk ad nauseum about finding out what your core beliefs are about yourself, as well as your negative self-talk. So I go on to say in this chapter, it's actually quite simple to start to believe that you are a legend in your own mind. Make the decision. Here's some help. And here's something I want to add to that, because I said make the decision. So I'm reading this morning, and I'm like, did I just tell people that it's as simple as making a decision? And I want to add yes and no. The decision making can be quite easy. Like, okay, I just decided, that I'm going to have a salad for lunch. I just decided that I am going to think of myself as a legend in my own mind. The action around it is a whole different enchilada. So the very first step that I say is start by liking yourself. Say it out loud, say it in the mirror, say it to your dog. Here's the thing that I want to back up with that. First and foremost, it comes down to accepting yourself for who you are. For some people, you might be in a place of self-loathing, or you have made decisions that you are so not proud of, or that have kind of messed up your life, or you view it as messed up your life. So to think about liking yourself is like going from A to Z in 2 seconds, and that's not going to happen. So when people hear that advice, they're like, forget it. I can't do it. It's not for me. It's, for you people over there. And I have been there. I have been in that place. So what I want to make this like the step 0 or the 0.5, and that is accepting yourself for who you are. That in and of itself can be a year's work. This isn't something we're going to wrap up in 10 minutes here on this video. Learning how to accept the decisions that you've made, who you are as a person, what your values are, it can be a lot of layers to that onion. So I just want to start with there. It might be self-acceptance first, before liking yourself, before self-love, and all the other flowery things that you hear about in personal development. So then it goes to start by liking yourself, okay? Then the next step is what I just talked about a few minutes ago, and that's notice your inner critic. Just notice. After you notice, start remembering that it is your inner critic and doesn't have to be your truth. Does not have to be your truth. When I first found out that my negative thoughts did not have to dictate who I was as a human, mind blown. That's where the head explosion emoji comes in that nobody has posted yet. Hi, Carolee. I see that you're here. Super glad that you're here. And by the way, if you have any other questions based on what I talked about at the beginning of the video, feel free to drop them in, Carolee, and anyone watching. So yes, your inner critic does not have to be your truth. That process starts by taking inventory of what your inner critic actually says. I have so many tools on that, and I will tell you a way to get them in just a minute. And then the next step is remember, you have bad days because you're human, and we all do. Accept it and move forward. The reason that I say that is because I see so many people in personal development, and they take all the information, they listen to my podcast, they read all the books or whatever, and they feel like they need to do it perfectly, that there is a right way and a wrong way. Either I do all the things I hear about and read about and learn about, and they work out, or I'm doing it wrong. And I feel like, I have a lot of high achieving, overachieving, perfectionistic women that come into my circles, and they bring in their perfectionism to personal development. And what I want to tell people is this isn't linear. We're all going to have good days. I was just recording an interview with somebody, and she was saying, I love how real you are. And I'm like, I can't imagine being over here putting myself on a pedestal and telling you that I only have good days, or showing you only if you listen to my podcast, like, the struggle, and it's real for all of us. And I can't just do that. We are all human beings. We all have bad days. We all have hardships in our lives. So it's a matter of having the tools in order to move through that, instead of staying stuck in it, instead of feeling like a victim all the time, or chronically hearing your inner critic, or having a lot of negative core beliefs about yourself. It's about learning about them, having the tools to move around them, having some setbacks from time to time, and knowing that that is part of the human experience. That will also help you know that you are a legend in your own mind. And then the last step I say is start over at number 1 and repeat. That's exactly the process. Along with being a legend is living like one. Here's a really important question. What about the people you keep in your life? What about how you take care or don't take care of yourself? What about what you say out loud about yourself and in front of others? So those are some important questions to ask yourself. How do you treat yourself, both in your self-care and the way that you talk about yourself? And I know sometimes, self-deprecating humor can be funny, but do you really believe the negative things that you say about yourself? And a lot of us do. I'm going to go out on a limb and say a lot of us do. So this is about recognizing these things in order to have the self-awareness so you can get more tools and change the way that you think about yourself, hopefully for the better. And I just want to say this one thing that I read in the chapter, and I was like, oh, that was actually pretty good. You are priceless. You are priceless. I don't care who you are, what you've done, or what you currently think about yourself. You are legendary just as you are. You decide how you talk to yourself. You decide how to treat your body. You decide the people you let into your life. You decide what or who influences you. You decide what's important to you and if you honor it or not. So that, I feel like, is the truth, right? And I'm going to jump over to the comments in just a second here. And I want everyone to know, if you don't know already, that my second book, How to Stop Feeling Like Shit, comes out shortly. Pre-orders are on now, today, November 16th. I think it's the 16th. And I'm giving away a lot of things for those of you that pre-order the book. Pre-orders are so important to authors. This is how I wrote a long email to my people. I'm going to tell you more about it, but these numbers matter to us as authors. We are held accountable by a publisher, and this is actually, how we make a living. And so, I'm not, like sitting here begging and pleading, like kind of am, but we really count on this. And I am also offering anybody that pre-orders a seat in a book study class that I am hosting, and we're going to start kind of like the middle of January. So you'll have plenty of time to read the book. And if you order it online, it will ship before January 2nd, little insider information there. Or January 2nd, you can find it in bookstores. It'll be a nice little New Year thing to start your 2018 off right. And what the book study is me, the author, guiding you through each chapter. This is 14 habits that are holding you back from happiness. So this is things like inner critic, perfectionism, isolating and hiding out, numbing out, people pleasing, overachieving, compare and despair. This is, there's 14 of them. I just named 7. If you struggle with any or all of those, I kind of joke, like, if that's your to-do list every day, then you need this book. I'm so incredibly proud of this book, and it offers so many tools and solutions that I wanted people to not just buy the book and have it sit on your bookshelf, or read it and say, that was nice, and then go about your everyday behaving the exact same way that you were before. I want to guide you through this as a trained professional of 10 years of coaching, of 2 certifications under my belt. Thousands of women have gone through my classes. I've helped hundreds of women privately, and I know this work inside and out. I can confidently tell you that I know what I'm doing here, and I want to take you with me through this, so you aren't all on your own reading another self-help book, which you have so many of. I typically charge anywhere from $100 to $300, $400, $500 for a class that is like this, where I'm personally guiding you through and answering your questions for 4 weeks. And it's all for free because of this book and celebration of this book. So start 2018 right and be able to do the work. I will pop a link into the comments right here, and I'm going to jump over. Let's see, Carolee, yeah, again, I hope that was helpful for you. So Michelle, thanks for showing up. I see you so much in these videos. She says, it's like being on a diet. We want rules and just tell me what to do, but there isn't a one-size-fits-all to self-acceptance and personal growth. Yes, amen, amen, absolutely. And I think that for those of you listening who resonated with that, I always invite people to make up, or to write out or think about what you're making up your personal development should look like. I ask my clients that all the time. Just this week, one of my clients said something like, I need to heal from this. And I was like, hold up. What does that actually mean? You're making up a story, probably unconsciously, of what healing looks like. Do you think that you should never think about it again? Do you think that you should not have a positive or negative reaction when you hear about that situation or see that person? What are you actually making up it needs to look like? Because these are expectations that we put on ourselves that usually are way too high to achieve either the expectation on ourselves or the expectation on another person. And I invite you to look at that. So thank you, Michelle. Really, really great to point that out. So Joe, you said mindset shift, ability to change your mental focus, your internal language and patterns. Yes, absolutely. I love that. And it's all about mindset. It really is. And our brains are so smart, you guys. And a lot of what I talk about too is that we are human and our brains are wired a certain way. Like, I can't stand the personal development advice that says stop comparing yourself to others. We do. We compare ourselves to others. It's how we survive. We're constantly sizing other people up. Is this person good? Is this person bad? Is this safe? Is this person someone I might want to mate with? Does this person have food? It's like, these are unconscious things that are going on in the back of our brain. It's science. And we do compare ourselves. And hello, social media. Y'all are on Facebook right now. So comparing yourself is like the thing to do on social media, right? So I don't think that we can stop comparing ourselves. What I love people to do is notice quickly when you're in it so that you can choose your thoughts and your core beliefs. That's what I was just talking about. Thank you for that. Great comment, Joe. And Lorraine says, ordering today. I'm so excited for your new book. Oh, thank you, Lorraine, so much. I am so grateful for you all for showing up on these live videos every week with me, and even watching the replay, and for supporting me. This has been a long endeavor over here at Your Kick-Ass Life. There's 178,000 likes on this page, and it blows my mind that, but also I'm like, who doesn't want to live a kick-ass life, right? I know that's why you're all here. So I'm so grateful for your support and your love and you showing up, not just for these videos, but showing up for your life. Because when you do, things will change and you will affect the people around you in a positive way and affect your children and your coworkers. And that's what really matters, right? It's making the world a better place. So thank you so much. I am so grateful for you here. I will drop that link into the comments, and hopefully I will see you in that book study class in January. All right, bye-bye.